Thank you for coming. Today is the December 18th, 2023 meeting of the Babylon Town Planning Board. We have one public hearing. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Jerry, could you lead us in the pledge?
Patrick Halpin.
Present.
Frank Santos. Jerry O'Neill. Ed Wynn.
Present.
Juan Leon.
Present.
James Vaccaro.
Present.
Greg Gaxiola. Matt Esposito. Rich Casey. Denise Graziano.
Okay, we have a quorum.
We do.
Before we start the public hearing, I'd like to read this statement into the record. The Planning Board shall have the right to rely on any information that is presented by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the Planning Board may determine that any approvals, building permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void. Denise?
Item A on the agenda, public hearing, minor subdivision, job number 23-30B, Norma Lobo, proposes to legally maintain a subdivision of a parcel totaling 14,513.34 square foot into one 7,226.74 square foot lot and one 7,286.6 square foot lot in order to erect two single-family dwellings.
Okay, who's here on behalf of the applicant?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Darrell J. Conway, 57 West Main Street, Babylon, New York.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please. Have you had the opportunity to review the memo regarding this application from Elizabeth White, the
I
Deputy
have.
Commissioner of Planning? Does your client have any issues, anything that they'd like to bring to our attention regarding any of the conditions for Lot 1 and 2 and covenants on Lot 1 and 2?
Not at all, and we are in agreement with the restrictive covenants for lots 1 and 2. In fact, they were filed back in 2013, so we've already concurred with that, with those requirements as well as the conditions recited in the memo.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here on behalf of Norma Lobo, 803 Belmore Avenue, East Meadow, New York, who's unfortunately out of town visiting her daughter upstate. The subject site is 18 Willow Street in Wheatley Heights. The Suffolk County tax map is District 100, Section 14, Block 1, lots 41 and 42. The lot, as indicated in the memo, is 14,513.34 square feet. It's basically 100 by 145 feet, 100 feet wide, 145 deep. It is zoned A residence. This application is for a two-lot subdivision. One lot will be 50 by 144, roughly 7,226.74 square feet. The second lot mirrors it, 50 by 145 feet. Square footage is 7,286.60. The intention is, or request is, to construct two or one-family, two-story dwellings. The history of the application is recited in the memo. This board itself approved the exact same application in 2013 under job number 12-48B. The Zoning Board of Appeals also heard and approved the same application back in 2013 under file number 12-206A and B. After the approval was granted by both boards, the applicant engaged in satisfying the Suffolk County Department of Health density requirements and was looking for other lots to sterilize. You may or may not remember, halfway through, around 2015, we stopped taking Pine Barren credits. And so then we had to come back into the local area to acquire property to meet the Suffolk County Department of Health density requirements. This is outside. Now it's only outside the sewer district by by about 400 feet, but back then it was outside, there was certainly no sewers coming down Straight Path. Because we were attempting to satisfy the requirements of the county, we did not file the final paperwork, which would be the park fee and other things. We did file the covenants and restrictions that they're required by both the zoning board and this planning board. The planning department closed the file in 2016 based upon inactivity, but in fact the applicant was still looking for other property within the area. Finally, about 2 years ago, we were able to locate a vacant lot, actually a vacant sizable lot on Cedar in Wyandanch. It's actually an acre and a half in which we did purchase it, and it is sterilized and has been transferred already to Suffolk County for the sterilization and therefore satisfying Suffolk County Department of Health, and we have their approval. We did speak to the commissioner about reactivating the file, and we were informed that no, we would have to go through the same procedure that we did in 2013, and that's what we've done. We've already gone back to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and in fact, on January 6th of last year, under application 21-187A and B, the Zoning Board of Appeals again approved the subdivision, making these lots conforming lots and the setbacks conforming. We now have, under this application, 23-30B. It is, again, we renewed the application. It is the same application in all regards that was approved by this board back in 2013. Just to reiterate, what we're doing is it's an overall lot of 14,513 square feet. We want to have a two-lot subdivision. The proposal, as you can see on your screens, it's a one family, just to make certain that we're individual houses, one family, two-story residence with an interior garage. The house itself is 25 by 44. It will consist of an unfinished basement, no access to the outside to that basement, living room, a dining room, a family room, and a kitchen on the first floor with the interior bathroom or interior garage and the access from the garage into the house with a half bath. The second floor, it's a 4-bedroom layout with 2 full baths for the occupants. Just to make certain that everybody understands, not only this board but in the public, that we are consenting to that the dwelling is to be maintained as a single-family dwelling, owner-occupied use only, no accessory apartments, and then there obviously goes out into other things, no outside stairs to the second story, no enclosure of the front porch, and certainly no conversion of the garage space. These are all, and no further expansion of the dwelling, and no further subdivision of lots. So we are concurring, and we are in agreement with the requirements of this board and the requirements of the zoning board and the memo. As I said, we've already actually filed those restrictions 10 years ago. So the Zoning Board of Appeals has approved this subdivision twice now. This board has approved it once, and we ask that this board approve it again.
Thank you. Do any of the board members have any questions of Mr. Conway at this time? Jerry?
Just a quick one. In the material we got, there was a floor plan for an alternate floor plan for a 5-bedroom with no garage and a family room.
I don't know how that ever got in that.
That's only by mistake.
It's omitted. Is it by Craig Leon?
Yep. It's
Treat
page.
that as null and void. That is not part of this application.
Yeah. It's A12,
It is-
sheet A12 for lot number 1.
Oh, okay. I will speak to Mr. Leon tonight.
We can ignore that.
Withdraw it, take it away. It is strictly the plans that are being shown on your screen right now. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, interior garage.
Matt, do you have anything to comment on that? This is the plan that the planning department has reviewed.
on Lot 1, it's sheet 812, 15 out of 15.
Will be very clear, that is withdrawn,
Okay.
not part of this application.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Conway. Do any of the other board members have any questions? Is there anyone from the public here that would like to address the board regarding this application? Sure, come on up. Excuse me. You give that to Matt. And please state your name and address for the record.
Donita Miller, and my address is 17 Willow Street,
You swear
Wheatley
to tell
Heights.
the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Please proceed.
So I'm kind of concerned that they want to construct 2 single-family homes on the size lot that they're applying for. Presently now, the home has been vacant since June or July. No one has lived in that home. Apparently, the person that was living there was renting, and I was unaware of that. So now, I think that building 2 single-family homes, at least that's what they say they are, on that property would cause a change in the community, in that neighborhood, and it would be an increase of traffic, and I feel it would be more issues with the health department with regards to septic. I would really like it to be 1-family home. The house that's currently sitting on that property sits way in the back against the fence. And if they were to construct a family home, I think the one nice size home sitting, if they had moved the home up further in the middle where it would be appropriate, where there would be a front yard and a backyard, would be more condition to the rest of the homes in the neighborhood in that area. But to put 2 single-family homes on that property, I really don't agree with it at all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board regarding this application? Sir, could you please state your name and address for the record?
Franz Legrand.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
What is your address?
14 Willow Street, Wheatley Heights, New York.
Thank you.
My concern is I just heard from the gentleman representing the developer that there was a confusion between a previous application where there were to be a 5-bedroom home, and he said that that's withdrawn. So my question is, assuming that the board approves this plan and moves forward with constructing 2 single-family dwellings in that tight space, what's our recourse? What is the community's recourse should somewhere along the line there's a change in the architecture or the planning or the building? What's our recourse if things should change, as things have been prone to change as time moves along and construction, oversight, and all that? What's our recourse?
Why don't I ask our attorney to come up here to address that question? This is Mr. Casey. He is the attorney for the planning board. That's a very good
Yes.
question.
If the applicant doesn't adhere to all of the conditions and the covenants and restrictions that are there, the town, the building department, code enforcement would take the case and require compliance. So if this is approved tonight or another night, there are strict conditions: single family, no accessory apartments, owner occupied. So we're not going to have tenants there, we're going to have owners, and the other requirements that are all going to be considered by this board tonight will be enforceable. So you'd have to call the town if you thought there was a violation.
Okay. And second question is, I'll piggyback off the previous neighbor's question is there a possibility for the developers to consider one home that covers that lot? It's a decent lot. We live right next door to the lot, and our garage is the same size of that little tiny house that was built in the back. Basically, it was a summer home. So that's definitely a lot for a nice size home, good square footage, front, backyard, driveway. Are the developers, are they contrary to having one family unit being built on that lot? Are they adverse to that?
We're concerned, that issue was taken up with another board to allow them to apply for variances to allow 2 lots there. That was done by the zoning board. And were you aware of that?
I might have not been out of town. Was it, because if you consider all the homes on Willow Street and the square footage of the lots, I think that if I don't have the plans in front of me, but it kind of shows that it's that we are squeezing 2 homes with 2 families, children running around, all to have that space to enjoy the dwelling place. It's kind of squeezing it, and it's not. It is not comparable with the other homes and their lots and their lawn and what have you.
That really was an issue that's for the other board to consider, and that hearing occurred already. And the character of the neighborhood and the size was evaluated at that time. Now they're here looking for their site plan approval. So I think that the applicant is going to move forward with the 2 homes. That's why they're agreeing to all the other conditions that we're putting in place.
All right, yeah, that is the application that this board is hearing. And as Mr. Casey said, regarding the issue that you just raised, that was an issue that was considered by the zoning board twice.
Okay.
So this is what stands right now. And we'd be happy to give you a copy of this memorandum, which outlines all of the conditions.
Thank you.
Sorry, ma'am, you can have one more question. Come on, come on up. No, come on up. You have to come up.
I'm sorry, but I wasn't aware of that previous meeting that you mentioned
The zoning
regarding
board
that.
of appeals.
Yeah, I never got notification of that, so how would I be aware of it?
Did you get notification of this meeting?
I got notification
Yeah.
of this meeting, but I didn't get notification of the previous meeting,
well, you
which is
should
very interesting.
Yeah.
But were letters mailed out to the community at that time?
Why don't we get our lawyer back up here?
I never
So
received that
way
letter.
You'll get the exact.
I received my tax bill, and I received this letter. Got that. So there should have been no reason why I didn't get notification of that meeting that was held prior to this meeting.
Yeah, the requirements for the zoning hearing would have required posting of a sign on the premises. Mr. Conway can address that. And also, a mailing would have been done by the town. And if you received notice of this, you should have received it for the prior hearing.
Okay, I only saw the sign posted, but I'm sure they didn't get notification as well. And we live in the same community. So we did not get notification of that zoning meeting that was held prior to this meeting, because if it was, I would have been there.
Understood.
So, I mean, what are my rights
Well, we will
with
ask
regards to?
we'll ask our attorney to check the records as to who, or we'll ask the planning department, actually, is what we'll do. The zoning board's notices, and you have a list of. Follow up with our zoning board, and we'll give you the number. We'll give you the
Okay,
number of the zoning board.
okay, thank you.
Definitely do that, okay? Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay, is there anyone else that would like to address the board regarding this application? Mr. Conway?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just from my own experience, as Mr. Casey also pointed out, the zoning board does do the mailings of the posting, or mailings of the notices. And don't forget, they did this on 2 occasions, back in 2012 and back in 2022. And the postings, I know, were done on 2 occasions, both for the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Board. And usually they're pretty good about, it's pretty efficient, I should say. Just to note two other things about the density, or first the increase in traffic. one additional house, I don't believe will cause a tremendous increase in traffic at the site. I just also wanted to let the board know, if you take a look at what's there now, it's kind of a bungalow. Yes, it has been vacant because we were waiting for decisions that we thought were coming down quicker. But we're now putting in 2 brand-new homes that will increase the value of the surrounding community as brand-new construction does. So we think it's going to be a benefit to the community and to the neighborhood. Just a side note on the septic system has been approved by the Department of Health, and so we have met that requirement.
Those are the new state-of-the-art.
$15,000 septic
They're very
systems, yes.
expensive septic systems, yes.
Yes. And the other thing is, as was mentioned, and Mr. Casey again addressed it, but I just want to reiterate it. If anything is not built in conformance with what this board approves, the citizens have a right to speak to code enforcement, which is quite an efficient and a vigorous department, and the homeowner who attempts to change that will be dealt with accordingly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? For any of the board members? No. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry. We're gonna, okay. I'm sorry, hold on. Yeah, I gotta have them back up.
I'm sorry, this is my first time doing this, so.
That's all right.
You're on record.
No, we'll have, that way you're on record, we have you recorded. We
Okay.
have all of the records, so it's documented.
Okay, so they're both 5-bedroom homes, correct?
No, there's 4.
4-bedroom in each home.
Right.
So now we're talking about space for, let's just say, the owners want to have an event at their home. The parking is not going to be conducive to where the homes are. There's no parking. Where would they park their cars based on that road, considering the size of the lot for 2 family homes? So if home A has an event and home B has an event, let's just say it's a graduation party, we're talking about 10, maybe 20, right? 10 family members, relatives coming to an event.
Understood.
I mean, it's going to cause a lot of traffic, congestion, parking everywhere. It's going to be a lot of confusion, on my opinion. And I'm right across the street from this.
Thank you very much. Okay. Matt, where are we with the, January 8th. So let me state this into the record. The public hearing has now been closed. We're going to extend the record on this matter until January 8th, 2024. In order for us to review the feedback that we will be receiving from this evening, as well as the review of any open site plan issues. If anybody would like to, or if you would like to, or any of your neighbors would like to provide additional feedback to the planning board, you may do so in writing until the record extended date. That's that January 8th date. To submit additional comments or to follow up with the status of the application, you can contact the planning department. You can do it in person. It's located in the west wing of Town Hall between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. or by phone, 631-957-3103, or by emailing the planning department at planningcomments, that's one word, planningcomments, at thetownofbabylon.com. Okay. Thank you. All right. So we need a motion to extend the record. Let's see, by Ed,
Motion to extend.
second by Juan.
Second.
All in favor? The record is extended to the 8th of January, 2020. Okay, thank you all very much for coming. Yeah. That is the only public hearing we have tonight, so we're going to be cutting down our stopping our live stream and going into a